Hi folks, Carmen here from Urban Farm School. I'm in my garden today and just looking at all of the amazing plants that are coming to fruition here in our garden. And I'm noticing the pollinator species activity in the gardens, the bees and the small little parasitic wasps and so on. And so I'm sort of taking stock and doing a little checking in to see what I can change for next year and trying to look at what plants are still available to our very important pollinator species. So behind me I've got one of my most favorite permaculture plants ever. This is Veronica speedwell or Veronica spicata. Now this is a fantastic plant that just the pollinators absolutely adore. We have such great abundance of pollinator species in the garden. Especially this year, we've counted over 27 species of bees in our garden this year. And these plants, the Veronica speedwell, are typically covered with bees. So these are starting to just fade off now. Also, we've got echinacea in the garden here, so that's helping our pollinators at this time of year. Some more Veronica here. Also over here, this is the Salvia nemorosa. Most salvias are really fantastic, especially mid-season. They produce a ton of these purple flowers, which, by the way, purple is the pollinator color of choice. They love the color purple, so purple flowers in the garden are really special for them. So the salvia typically starts off our season, our mid-season, and then the Veronica takes over, and they're covered with bees. So many different species of bees, including the honeybees, absolutely love them. Of course, we've got the echinacea as well. Also, we've got right down here at the edge of our garden, we've got some lovely sweet alyssum, again the purple color for our pollinators. So these guys are really fantastic for maintaining pollinator services all through the season. So having some kind of an annual in the garden that provides that service is really important for our pollinators, especially in the fall. Another fall special here are the sunflowers, which have seen a lot of activity from especially our big bumblers and some of our honeybees as well. So, so there's some of the species that we're using in the garden right now to keep things going. The other plant that actually does really well for fall pollinating services is this oregano. So we've got lots of oregano in the garden. We really love to let it self-seed. We're getting into evening now, so we're not seeing as much activity. But what's really great about oregano is that it persists, its blooming pattern persists throughout the season. And especially if you've got stuff planted in areas where it might not necessarily be in its spot of choice. So slightly slightly shadier spots that would allow the plant to then prolong its bloom further into the season. Back over here, case in point, is going to be another variety of a Veronica, which is a pink flowering variety. And this one is really fantastic. Now this one is in a little bit of a shadier location close to our little woodland garden here. And you can see that the bees are still really enjoying it. It seems to have a longer season than the regular purple Veronica. So that's really great for our pollinators. They have a chance to have access to pollen in the garden that that wouldn't be provided by the regular Veronica because it's mostly done. So again, lots of echinacea in the garden this time of year, which the pollinators appreciate. Here we have a little more of a shady situation here. So you can see that the Veronica is a little longer lasting over here and is still seeing lots of activity. And now, of course, that's really important. We've got our little pear tree here, more sunflowers, lots of other species. And this is another really great one in our garden. This is anise hyssop. So this one the pollinators also really love. And if we can stagger location as far as planting some in full sun, which would be pretty well done by now, blooming, and some in partial shade like this one is, it actually provides pollinator services for our little bee friends throughout the season. So that's what I wanted to share with you today, was how important it is to have these pollinator-friendly species, not only in the early spring and midsummer when they're really required, but also throughout the fall. There are a ton of additional species we've got on our property that help support our pollinator friends. So I just wanted to share with you a few of them today that we're seeing some great activity. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if so, please do consider checking us out online at urbanfarmschool.ca, where you can learn to grow some awesome.